Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com/schedule.
We've got serious climate disruption right now. The West is on fire. There's a lot of flooding. There's superstorms, hurricanes beyond anything that we've ever experienced. So there's a lot of planetary disruption that's been playing out because of our collective human ways.
Deb Ozarko, vegan. Is our world beyond hope? Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vrolijke dag means happy day in Dutch, one of the official languages of St. Martin. I'm Gwen. The noble people of St. Martin thank you for your kind stewardship of planet Earth. Munificent viewers, welcome to part 1 of our 2-part series, Is Our World Beyond Hope, featuring Deb Ozarko, vegan. Ms. Deb Ozarko of Ontario, Canada, is the author of Unplug and Beyond Hope, Letting Go of a World in Collapse. She is also a graphic designer, the creator and host of the Unplug podcast, an unapologetic vegan, and an Ironman triathlon competitor. In her latest book, Beyond Hope, Deb writes that between climate change, widespread pollution, mass plant and wildlife extinctions, global overpopulation, and runaway biosphere decay, our world may have reached a point of no return. On today's program, Deb begins by telling us how her interest in protecting the planet began. For as long as she can remember, she has felt a deep connection to the earth. And even as a child, she would pick up garbage that others had left behind. We asked Deb why she felt such a strong urge to become active in environmental conservation.
I don't really have an answer other than just this intuitive love for the planet and for life, I guess. And so when I saw I didn't have language for it as a child, but I knew that it was desecration of the sacred. And I have language to articulate that now. And I just knew that I needed to do something. And my little child mind knew that just picking up the garbage was making a difference. And that just became something that I did on a regular basis. And I still do that to this day. So whenever I go out and hike with the dogs and I see garbage out there, I pick it up. I can't walk by because I care. So it's just this intuitive connection to life. I would say it's bigger than the planet and the animals. It's just life in general. And I know that when something is not supporting life, I just have this calling to do something about that.
When she was only 12, Deb made another remarkable decision. Although none of her other family members were vegetarian, Deb decided to adopt a plant-based lifestyle.
I just had this strong, intuitive gut feeling that consuming animal flesh was wrong. I couldn't do it. I felt like a hypocrite. Even at 12 years old, I thought, how can I say that I love animals and yet eat them? It just didn't make any sense to me. And, you know, I would ask these questions to adults, and of course they always say, well, that's what we do. You know, I never got a straight answer. So I've always had this, again, a very strong connection to life. And with that strong connection to life, it's given me this immense capacity for critical thought, to be able to ask really big questions that were never answered as a child. So instead of just complying with the status quo, because that internal feeling was so powerful within me, I knew that I needed to honor that. And so that's when I decided that I was just going to go vegetarian. I didn't know what a vegetarian was at that time. I just knew that I couldn't eat meat anymore.
As a little girl, Deb also had premonitions about the potential destruction of the planet. She recalls sobbing to her mother saying, "I just want to live long enough to see the healing of the earth."
It wasn't something that was a constant. It was something that I would pick up now and then. And it would come in waves. And generally it would happen if I was out by the water, for instance, and I would see garbage floating. And I recognized a bigger problem. So I wouldn't just see a piece of garbage. For some reason, I was able to tap into a bigger problem, recognizing that that one piece of garbage that I might have seen floating in the water was a metaphor for a bigger problem that was going on. So it was just an intuitive feeling that I had about bigger problems that were going on around me that nobody seemed to be talking about. And I would watch people, adults in particular, as a child, I would watch adults just blindly consuming, just blindly carrying on with their lives, not even noticing the things that I noticed. And I knew that that was a problem as well. If you can't see what I see so clearly, then for me, what is visible has become invisible. And I knew that that was the recipe for disaster for a planet that I loved so dearly. So, you know, as a child, I could feel that something wasn't right. Just by asking questions to the adults that they just didn't want to give me answers. It was like, that's just the way it is. Well, no, that's not the way it is. That's not the way I see it. That's not the way I feel it. Why can't you answer my question? People didn't want to explore those deeper questions in a more critical way.
We'll take a moment now to pray for the well-being of Earth and all her inhabitants. We'll be back right after this message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Precious viewers, welcome back to our program. While Deb had numerous premonitions as a young child about the demise of Earth, it was not until 2018 that she published Beyond Hope. What eventually prompted her to write this book?
I knew that the book that I wrote was what I needed to read all those years ago, and nobody was putting it out there. I was searching and searching and searching for somebody to speak that truth. And eventually I knew that that somebody was me. And it took me that long to figure it out.
In Beyond Hope, Deb discusses some of the many environmental problems our Earth is now facing.
problems have become exponentially worse over time. You know, we've got overpopulation, we've got serious climate disruption right now. It's beyond climate change now. We've got a lot of positive feedback loops that are playing out in an exponential way. You know, like the West is on fire right now. There's a lot of flooding that's happening. There's just like, there's superstorms, hurricanes beyond anything that we've ever experienced in the past. You know, so there's a lot of planetary disruption that's been playing out because of our collective human ways in this mindlessness to consume and to perpetuate this status quo, this civilization of consumption that has just been so deeply entrenched into the human psyche. And that's basically the premise of Beyond Hope, is I was able to see a bigger picture that others were either blind to or were denying, and I decided to just lay that out in the book. This is the way I see it. We're in a state of serious crisis. And that book was put out in 2018, and of course things have just amped up since then, because now we're in a global pandemic, and you know, things are just getting worse, and you know, there's social unrest. So there's a lot of problems that are playing out right now.
Although the book discusses the immense environmental problems facing our world, Deb finds personal solace in spending time with animals. She shares her countryside home with her 2 rescued dogs, Francis and Phoenix, 6 rescued cats, and a plethora of wild animals who live in the forest surrounding her house. Deb explains that these animals, especially the baby squirrels, have taught her many lessons.
They have taught me humility, grace, compassion, joy, and more than anything else, they've taught me presence. That has been probably the biggest thing for me, is learning how to live more presently. Because we as a species are so future focused. We're so future focused. We live in the present moment, thinking about our future, thinking about saving for the future, or careers for the future, or whatever. So we're never really fully present. I volunteer for the local wildlife sanctuary here, and I've been doing that for years. And every spring, and generally in the fall, they have, they're just overcome with litters of squirrels, so little baby squirrels. And so I'm a foster parent. Their mother might have been hit by a car, or whatever the circumstance is. So I have these baby squirrels. So they're in a little cage. I hand feed them until they're ready to go into a bigger cage. And then I bring them out into this outdoor space in their bigger cage. And I let them learn to be wild in that bigger cage. And then after 12 weeks, I get to release them. And I get to watch them. I get to watch these animals just, you know, be wild. And they just intuitively have this sense of being fully present and really wild, and just like really, really taking in their surroundings. And so I find that these baby squirrels are really amazing teachers for me. There's so many things that they've taught me, and the greatest thing that they teach me is presence and probably joy.
Many thanks, Deb Ozarko, for sharing your fascinating insights. May you be blessed for your diligent efforts to protect the animals and our precious planet Earth. For more information about Deb Ozarko, please visit debozarko.com. Wonderful viewers, thank you for your company today. Please join us again next Tuesday, February 16th, for the concluding episode in this series. please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for New Year's Eve Ghost Stories, Part 1 of 8, up next after Noteworthy News. May we soon live harmoniously with Earth as all people adopt the compassionate, noble, and environmentally friendly vegan lifestyle.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.